The flickering candlelight danced across Amelia's face, highlighting her forced smile. 32 years old, beautiful, and utterly deceitful, my Amelia. Or rather, the woman I once believed was mine. We sat in our cozy dining room, celebrating her birthday. The walls bore witness to years of laughter, love, and quiet intimacy, memories that, in hindsight, were nothing but illusions. It had been a good year for me, professionally at least. A promotion had consumed my time, demanding long hours, stolen weekends, and unwavering dedication. Ironically, my success had blinded me to the fissures forming beneath the surface of our marriage, cracks that now seemed gaping chasms. She unwrapped my gift, her delicate fingers tearing through the paper with a mixture of anticipation and curiosity. Nestled inside a small velvet box lay a silver locket, intricately engraved with an A, entwined with a diamond-encrusted M for Parker, my name. I had chosen it carefully, remembering a conversation from years ago about her grandmother's cherished locket, long lost but never forgotten. I had spent weeks tracking down a near replica, hoping it would symbolize the depth and endurance of our love. Her smile flickered, brief, uncertain. Then, as she pried the locket open, her fingers trembled. A hidden clasp revealed a tiny, high-resolution photograph. Not of us. Not of a cherished moment between husband and wife. But of her and David, my best friend. Their lips pressed together in an unmistakable kiss, waves crashing behind them, a golden sunset casting them in a light that should have belonged to us. Cairo, a beach she had visited on what she claimed was a girl's getaway. A trip I had been too busy to join. The locket slipped from her hands, clattering onto the hardwood floor. The sound echoed through the room, filling the space left by my silence. Her face, moments ago flushed with faint delight, drained of all color. Her wide eyes, reflecting shock and terror, locked onto mine. Parker, she stammered, her voice barely a whisper. I said nothing. Words felt meaningless. I simply stood there, the candlelight casting long, distorted shadows across the walls, mirroring the grotesque, twisted reality of our lives. My silence, I knew, was more terrifying than any rage-fueled outburst. It was the silence of a heart breaking, of a life meticulously built, collapsing into dust. She scrambled for the locket, her fingers fumbling as she grasped at the last remnants of a lie unraveling before her. It's not what it looks like. The words, so predictable, so pathetic, hung between us like smoke. I finally spoke, my voice low and steady, each word a stone in the wall forming between us. Really, Amelia? Because it looks an awful lot like betrayal. Tears welled in her eyes, crocodile tears, I now realized. Please, Parker, let me explain. Explain what, Amelia? Explain how you looked me in the eye day after day, swore your love while you were screwing my best friend behind my back. The dam broke. Sobs racked her body as she fell to her knees, clutching the locket like a lifeline. But the truth, like the rising tide, was relentless. It would swallow her whole. I turned and walked away, leaving her amid the ruins of her deceit. I needed no explanations. I had all the truth I would ever need, captured in a tiny photograph, a testament to her treachery. The following days blurred together. I packed a suitcase, left the house we once called home, and moved into a small, sterile apartment. The silence there was different, not suffocating, not ominous. It was a balm, a quiet, empty space where I could begin again. I contacted a lawyer. Divorce proceedings began swiftly. I didn't want revenge, I wanted freedom. But there was one loose end left to tie up. David. I found him at his office, a sleek, modern building that reeked of success. Success built, in part, on my trust, my friendship. I ignored the startled protests of his secretary and strode in. He looked up, surprise flashing across his face, quickly replaced by guilt. Parker, what are you doing here? We need to talk, David. My voice was deceptively calm. He stood, his hands trembling. Look, Parker, I'm sorry. Sorry. The word dripped with insincerity. I lunged forward, grabbing him by the collar of his expensive shirt. Sorry doesn't cut it, David. You betrayed me. You betrayed our friendship. You screwed my wife. My voice rose, reverberating through the office. His face paled, fear finally overtaking guilt. He tried to push me away, but I held him tight, my grip fueled by years of suppressed rage. I trusted you, I hissed. I thought you were my friend. Parker, please, let's talk about this rationally. His voice was desperate, his eyes darting around for an escape. Rational? I laughed cold and hollow. You think there's anything rational about what you did? I released him suddenly, sending him stumbling back. Physical violence wouldn't satisfy me. No, I had something far more devastating planned. I turned and walked away. The fear in his eyes was my first small victory. The legal battle that followed was swift and merciless. Amelia contested the divorce, weaving desperate lies, painting herself as the victim. But I had anticipated her games. I had hired a private investigator. The evidence was irrefutable: photographs, receipts, hotel records. A meticulous chronicle of their betrayal. The judge, a stern woman with no patience for deceit, awarded me everything. The house, the car, even the dog Amelia once claimed as her own. She walked away with nothing but the clothes on her back and the weight of her shame. But the real devastation came later. David's wife, Maria, a kind, gentle woman I had always liked, filed for divorce. His carefully curated life, his pristine reputation, crumbled. He lost his job, his friends, his social standing. He became a pariah, a living testament to the consequences of betrayal. The news of his downfall reached me through mutual acquaintances. I felt no pity. He had reaped what he had sown. As for Amelia, she vanished, retreating to her hometown, a ghost of the woman she once was. I never saw her again. The pain did not vanish overnight. It lingered, a dull ache in my chest, a constant reminder of what I had lost. But slowly I healed. Brick by brick, I rebuilt my life. I poured myself into my career, reconnected with old friends, forged new relationships built on trust and honesty. One evening, years later, I sat on my balcony, a glass of wine in hand, watching the sky blush with hues of orange and purple. The air was cool, scented with jasmine. Peaceful. I thought of Amelia, of David, of the wreckage they left behind. But there was no anger left. Only closure. They had not just broken my heart. They had unknowingly given me the opportunity to build a stronger one. And that, I realized, was something they could never take away.